country road, slamming them candy doors, sitting out on the porch, fresh from head to toe. This for all my southern kids, be proud of who you is. No matter where we win, let them know the game we in. It's for all my country. Back on my grind again, wasting no time again, putting it on the line, and losing. I'm trying to win whenever. Right now the better, hoping all of the stars, the planets align together. Trying to weather the storm, go beyond and gone. Find all the life's treasures and bring them back to my home. Like we made it, civil land, country and all of that. Tell all them haters, congratulate us, to fall back. Cause I'm in my old school, traveling to the A. Don't worry, little baby brother, I'll be back like any day. Spread the word, I flip birds like birds get flipped by dope boy that Paul rims on the curve. Got my CD and they dick, on their heads break they neck, whispering that I got next to it. That never heard of Mississippi lyricists, not even visionaries, envision this. Before my country folk, slamming them candy doors, sitting out on the porch, fresh from head to toe. This for all my southern kids, be proud of who you is. No matter where we in, let them know the game we in. This for all my country. Leave it behind, look the crime, fighting for every yard across the poverty line. Any given Sunday could be my last. Lay my ties with the gas money or let the plate pass. Cause God can understand the lows, the feeling of being stranded on the side of the road. Watching all the fancy cars come and go, like it couldn't get no worse but it storms some more. Cause whenever it rains, little buddy, it pours. When you need the sunshine like the most. But even a magnolia fights to grow under certain circumstances similar to yours. I just wanna be heavenly, I suppose. But success never ever saved the soul. I came from the bottom of the map to show the world that is more to us country folk. All my country folk, slamming them candy doors, sitting out on the porch, fresh from head to toe. This for all my southern kids, be proud of who you is. No matter where we in, let them know the game we in. This for all my country folk. Yo, what's good, boy? Man, that shit, man.
Hey, look, can y'all hear me? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Smash a one or say, I can hear you. Say something. You know, it's been a while since I've been here, but I'm back for a little while anyway. Let me know if y'all can hear me before I move on to my next selection, before I get into this African presence in Mississippi, part 1 and part 2. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss that tonight. I'm going to show the videos so people can know what I'm talking about. For the people that didn't see the videos, I'm going to show them tonight, and I'm going to show the history of these places when I say African presence in Mississippi. And I'm going to give y'all a hint before I get his last selection. All y'all watch, for the people that watch the movie The Woman King, I'm going to just leave it at that. Then I'm going to play my last selection right quick. You know, some more of that good Southern soul. We call it the blues. The new thing, they call it the Southern soul. This the one everybody know and love, and I'm glad it's hot because it's letting everybody know about the country right here. Boots on the Ground by 803 Fresh.
Lord have mercy.
The wizard got them bang.
Live in the building.
Yeah.
I dance on my dance up. You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Where the fans at? Get up by your seat. Let your body move. Cowboys and cowgirls, they feeling the groove. Sipping on moonshine, fire barrel rolling. I'ma get behind that thing, girl, and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Whoa, oh, 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 got my boots on the ground. Yes, sir. Lord have mercy. Oh, 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 my boots on the ground. Fans, please. knees, cause we gon' get it up. Everybody's dancing to that juke joint love. Hold on to your wig, hold on to your man, cause the steppers in that building, y'all, and they throwing them fans. Come on. Whoa, 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 got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Oh, got my boots on the ground, baby. Wait a minute. Boots on the ground, kicking up some dust. Boots on the ground, kicking up some dust. Wait a minute now, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time, hit me two times. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Wait a minute, let me do that one more time for the ones who ain't hear me. Listen here. Boots on the ground, kicking up some dust. Boots on the ground, kicking up some dust. Wait a minute now, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time, hit me two times. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Y'all know I don't mind. Yes, sir. Boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Boots on the ground. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Oh, 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 oh.
Yo, Anthony, look, everybody on here, let me give y'all a round of applause for coming mess with me this time of night on a Friday night. Man, I'm glad y'all came through. I ain't been on here in about 3 months, I guess, maybe longer. I appreciate y'all for coming through. That means some folks still love me, because I still love y'all. Anthony, I'm going to put the link in there, but let me set it up right quick just before I put the link in what I'm talking about. So I'm going to ask y'all, have any of y'all watched the movie? Whoever watched the movie or heard of the movie, The Woman King, let me know. Put a 1 or something in the chat. Let me know if you heard of The Woman King. Let me know if y'all heard the movie, The Woman King. So if you heard of the movie, The Woman King, what's going on, Grandma used to say? You know, I was going to send it to you, but I'm like, I started late, and I know she got to get up and take care of bit. So The Woman King, we know that was about the Dahomey tribe. I'm going to tell you something, man. We're going to have to go do some more research, man, because they say, according to that movie, how the Dahomey tribe was selling other tribes. Ain't that what they said? That's what they said, right? So what I'm gonna do is, Anthony, I'm gonna put it in. Let me see if I can do this right quick. Let me see if I can do this right quick. Set this up. Let me see if I can do this right quick. Okay. See if I can have this set up. I want to see. So this is one we're gonna start with, talking about the homie, right? The homie. Okay, I'm gonna bring you up. I'm gonna bring you up. Okay, you know what? After I show this slide, then I'm gonna bring you up and I'm gonna let you talk about it, all right? Because I was gonna put you in, but let me do this right quick. Let me do this right quick. Y'all let me know if you all can see that. Can y'all see that? Let me know if you can see it. That's the history of, I'm just gonna give you a slight history. Then I'm gonna bring I'm gonna let Anthony come up so he can elaborate on it. The Homie National Wildlife Refuge. Now, the first thing that caught my eyes, I was riding down the street. I was on Highway 61 on my way to Clarksdale, Mississippi. We're gonna talk about that too. And I saw this, I'm like, I've never heard of the Dahomey Wildlife National Refuge. And I'm like, Dahomey? And I said, what the hell is Dahomey? And I said, oh, snap. So I stopped and I Googled the origins of the word Dahomey, right? I said, oh, snap, this was the woman king. So now when they say they was getting other tribes, okay, the Dahomey National Wildlife Refuge is something like Angola Prison in Louisiana. Angola Prison in Louisiana was called Angola. They named it after the people that was enslaved on that plantation. Dahomey was the Dahomey National Wildlife Refuge was the largest cotton plantation in the world. 1833, E.G. Ellis established the Dahomey plantation, named after the homeland of his enslaved people, of the people that he enslaved, because the way they worded it like they belonged to him. And I just hate saying it like that. I know what it is, supposed to you don't have to correct me. Named after the homeland of the people that he enslaved. So what happened? 1880s, the settlement of Dahomey emerged with the arrival of the railway. So in what continued to happen, right? Because I can't get that to scroll. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure, because I have it. Don't worry. I just want y'all to see where I'm reading at right now. So then, and I'm going to continue to read here. The Dahomey plantation was founded by F.G. Ellis and named after the people that he enslaved. Wow. So there go Africa and Mississippi. So that debunked these, I'm indigenous, aboriginal, indigenous, we all are people, you know. The settlement of Dahomey likely formed with the arrival of the Louisville, New Orleans, and Texas Railway. Now, the settlement of the Dahomey, what I didn't say in the other video that was on my channel, I want y'all to understand, right? There is also a small unincorporated town in Mississippi, because I didn't see the sign. And I'm telling you, I've been all up and down this Highway 61 my whole life. This is my first time ever, I won't say first time ever seeing it. Maybe this is my first time ever paying attention to it. So they have a settlement called Dahomey, Mississippi. The people there know where they're from. They name their town. They say not just after the plantation, but after their ancestors. So the African presence here in America, and for our people to constantly ignore, and I'm not even on here to debate and argue and beef with nobody, but this is something that we need to know. We need to know about these things, right? Who would have known, you driving through the country in Mississippi, Highway 61, and you see a Dahomey National Wildlife Refuge? Then you see, what you mean, you hope I'm recording what? So then you see there's a Dahomey, actually a Dahomey Dahomey, Mississippi. You know, they named a town. Dahomey, after their ancestors, after our ancestors, right? So when people come And they would still try to argue. Like I said, similar to Angola in Anthony. The link is in the chat. And anybody else, because we're going to discuss it. That's the name of this, African Presence in Mississippi, Part 1 and 2. You all can come up now. I just wanted to show the first scene. Then y'all can come up and we can discuss. We can discuss it. So Anthony, if you see the link, hit it. Okay. Anybody else want to come up? If you want to come up, come on up. What's going on, Anthony? Say something.
Hey, what's up, Bakar? What's going on, Bakar?
Oh, what's going on, my brother? Can y'all hear him?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can y'all hear
me? Yeah, they can hear me.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Everything been going good?
Man, everything been doing good, man. I had to do a recalibration. How about that?
Yeah, I feel you, man. I had to shake back my damn self, man. But you know, I was watching the other night when you came up with the story, and look here, and believe it or not, that was a new one. You got me with that. I said, damn, I never heard of that. I never heard of Dahomey. Dahomey, Mississippi. I never heard of it. Now I heard of African in Alabama. You know, and I know about Angola here, and I know about it was a little Angola in Florida too. But yeah, man. But hey, go ahead, Bakar. Go ahead and finish your comments here, and then I'll come back when you want me to.
No, come on. You can come right now. You can go ahead and speak on the Dahomey right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So talking about Dahomey. Okay. Now the Dahomey Kingdom. Okay. I got a partner of mine. His name is Onura Abua. He's a brother he's from the continent, and he's a film director. And like I know him from YouTube. You know, I never met him, but we kicked on YouTube, and I used to be on his channel. What he did, he got a short documentary about 35, 40 minutes long about the Dahomey Kingdom. You know, when he went there, he's showing you. He went there. He went to the palace. He met, you know, the president, the officials and stuff. Because, you know, it's more like a ceremonial kingdom now. But anyway, what I'm saying, the Dahomey Kingdom, okay, now these people were from an ethnic group called the Fawn tribe. The Fawn ethnic group. Fawn is F-O-N. The Fawn. Okay. The kingdom of Dahomey was basically created because, see, next door to Dahomey was a small, insignificant group of people. But what happened, the Dahomey people, they actually were the victims of the slave trade. They used to get raided all the time from this neighboring kingdom called the Oyo Kingdom, which is located in what is now modern day Nigeria. So the Oyo Kingdom, the Oyo Kingdom used to raid them. The Oyo Kingdom, the Benin Kingdom, they used to raid them. And so what happened, to protect themselves, you know, the people, all of the Fawn-related people got together. They created a small kingdom, and over time they created a larger kingdom and created a powerful kingdom to combat against the Oyo Kingdom, which was like a super kingdom. The Oyo Kingdom was a huge kingdom, powerful kingdom. But anyway, basically, Dahomey, the kingdom of Dahomey, was created as a result of them being raided by slave raiders. And so they created their own kingdom and they became powerful. You know, they traded with Europeans to get weapons. And in the process, they also, you know, they made a deal, like, you know, that old deal we make, you know what I'm saying? Where they started enslaving other neighboring African people.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is the Dahomey got over here enslaved before they became powerful.
Okay. Now, around the time the Europeans started bringing trafficking Africans over here, say to North America. Okay, the Dahomey Kingdom had officially began around in the early 1600s. The early 1600s, like 1600, 1601, 1605. They was in full strength. It was a created kingdom then. You know, they were no longer just a small state. They were a formidable, powerful kingdom, like their first kings, around 1600. Okay, among those early rulers, this is. I don't know if you want me to hold up on this, Bogard. Okay, but anyway, what I'm saying, among the okay, I'm gonna skip a little bit and go right to the point about the woman king. Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
okay, the woman king. Now that movie, I didn't see the movie. I didn't go. I purposely didn't go see it. Cause see, I already know. I read about it. The no, who was making it? You know, it was two white women making the movie. So you know it was gonna be a white feminist point of view. Okay, what I'm saying is this right here. At that particular time, when that time period when that's supposed to happen, it was in the 1890s, I think. Okay, there was no female king of Dahomey then. There was only one female king of Dahomey. I'm gonna get to it. But at that time when that movie was made, this was when the French had come to invade. You see, they had all the names wrong. It really was when the French came to invade Dahomey. Okay, this was during the reign of the king of Dahomey, who was known as Behanzin Hasu Bawali. He was the king of Dahomey from like 1889 or something like 1896 or something like that, the 1890s. He was the one who fought the French. He was the one who fought the French. His name was Behanzin. But see, in this story, in the movie, they portrayed the king, played by the brother from the UK, John Boyega. They portrayed the king as Gazo. But see, that wasn't Gazo. Gazo ruled in the mid 19th century, like in the 1850s. Gazo was the notorious slave trader. He was a notorious slave trader. Gazo was the bad guy. You remember that movie back in the early 60s, starring Clark Gable and Sidney Poitier called Band of Angels? It's a part of the movie where Clark Gable was telling the girl he was with. He was saying that, yeah, don't pretend like it was just us white men. You know, the African, the Africans were in it too. And he said, my partner in the slave trade was old Gazo. He was talking about Gazo, King Gazo. But Gazo was a notorious slave trader. He was ruthless. I mean, he was a terror. He was a bad dude. You know, he didn't give a damn about it. Like later in life, he kind of started to regret it a little bit. But he was a notorious slave trader. That was Gazo. So in the movie, The Woman King, the king who they was talking about was Gazo, but the actual king was Behanzin. Okay, now skip real quick. I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead, Bacardi. You want to say something?
No. My bad. I can mute my mic. I ain't saying that. I'm listening, bro.
Okay.
You teaching right now.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna get to the point about the woman king. Now there was only one female king, ruler, a ruler of the kingdom of Dahomey. If you right now, just a couple of years ago, they built a statue to her. It's a beautiful gold statue in the capital city of Benin now, Benin Republic, I think in Cotonou. It's a beautiful statue, tall, big, beautiful statue. Her name was Hangbe. And Hangbe is spelled Hangbe. Hangbe. And she was the only female king. She was the woman king. She was the king in it was from around 1617 to about 1619. She was king for about 2 or 3 years. You know, because she basically it was the king before her had died in office or something, got killed, and she took over as because she was his sister, and she took over as king, and she ruled for about 2 or 3, 4 years, 4 years. She didn't rule that long, and this was around 1617, between 1617 1620. Her name was Hangbe. Hangbe was a member of the female warrior group. They were called the Mina. Now in the movie, you know, in Black Panther, they called it the Dora Milaje. But actually in Bahama, they was called the Mina. And these were the Mina meant the king's wives. They were the wives of the king. And so their job was to protect the king. Now originally,
Oh, okay.
They weren't warriors. They hunted elephants.
Hold up one second. Hey,
Okay,
Bwana,
go
he
ahead.
came back. Peace to you, my good brother King Fuse. What's going on, my brother? Hey, y'all need to check that brother out right there. He got a lot of knowledge on everything. He discusses sports. He discusses politics. Man, I'm telling you, King Fuse Lit House. Y'all should check that brother out right there. I'm telling you, his talent is excellent. Go ahead, Anthony. Round it up. Give you one more minute so then Bwana can speak.
Okay, so I'm gonna round it up. So the female queen, the only female queen was Queen Hanbei, who ruled for a few years in the early 1600s, around 1617, 1620, somewhere between that area. The date is kind of disputed, but she was the female queen, and she's the one that they have a statue of her. She was a member of the females who were known as the Dahomey Amazons, but actually they were called the Mina. In Hanbei and the Mina, they were some of the most ferocious slave traders. They participated strongly in it. They were like led the forces. So in raiding other tribes, in other nations, other tribes. But we ain't saying it just because like they were just some mean, vicious people. But they was like that because this was what happened to them. And I'll leave it right there, Bakari.
Okay, but want to give me 1 second, then I'm gonna let you go. Hey, King Fuse, you should check out. I'm gonna tell you something. You should check out. I found it very interesting, my brother Rev. You should check out. If you get a chance, check out a documentary. I want to say it's on Amazon called "The Prince of Slaves." You should check that out. You should check that out, Rev. It ain't just about him being a slave. He was a Muslim brother from the Mali Empire, and they were surprised he could read and he was very smart. You should check it out, Rev. Hey, Bwana, go ahead, my man. I read your statement.
Yes.
I read your statement, and you're right. When I'm back down there, we'll talk to him. But go ahead, it's on you.
Yes. Well, blessings to you, Brother Bakari, and blessings to you, Anthony. I just think that I didn't know if you were still in Mississippi or not, because I think that Mississippi and Louisiana, as a matter of fact, have a lot of history, a lot of Black history. And when you're showing the people of New Africa, I mean, most people never seen what a juke joint looked like, and to be able to record on authentic like juke joint, it's like people would be blown away by that because they never seen it. And I don't know if you went to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where Sinners was made, and then you said that you interviewed a man who basically said he was from the Dahomey kingdom. See, that kind of like come in conflict with what Dane Calloway them was saying, like they Indians and shit. So to see someone from Mississippi basically telling you, I am part of the Dahomey heritage, it'll, demystify a lot of the nonsense is out here. And the fact that you have the ability to do it and put it on camera, I think that people will want to see something like that. The people will be interested in things like that. Because like I say, Mississippi and Louisiana, they have tons of history. And the fact that you all have access to these places, I mean, it's recorded history. So that was just my suggestion. I don't know what you thought about that.
Yeah, that is a good suggestion. When I'm back down there, and I will record it. I will. And that the documentary I just told Rev about, I meant to put it in here too. Because the Prince of Slave, what's his name, man? Anthony knew his name. I can never remember his name. I remember the name of the documentary. What's that Muslim brother name, Anthony?
Man, I'm forgetting it right now, but I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
In the,
It was like a ma. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, because
I know it though. I read the whole. I seen the story.
Yeah, he was in Natchez, Mississippi too, and he was in Natchez, Mississippi too, and he said he was a Moor, but he wouldn't go back to Morocco because at that time they were enslaving African Muslims, right? In Morocco, but that brother got his freedom.
Abdul Rahman.
Yeah, Abdul Rahman, that's his name. And that family stayed in touch. His descendants from in Mississippi and his descendants and all his family in Africa, it's like every 5 years they would do a reunion. So the town of Natchez would come out when the people from Africa go to Natchez, Mississippi, and when his descendants from Mississippi go to the continent, They would all come out. So when people say, "Oh, you know his name, Rev," Rev already know who I'm talking about. But yeah, that's so. I'm gonna play. Let me present something else right quick because I want to show this. I might have to pause it and play it from my phone because the way they got this thing set up now. But let me y'all give me a second.
Hey, Buana, I'm gonna get you. You found Buana. You foundational behavior in America. I'm gonna get you.
I don't know what I do. You know what I mean? I know. Like I say, man, I still deport me. I still deport. Y'all don't understand our situation, man. Y'all really don't understand, man. I still deport us, Anthony. They'll send us out of the country, bro. They'll deport us, bro. They'll deport us.
Man, I'm for you 100%, Buana. Hey, if they deport you, I'm gonna go with you.
All right, I'm about to play it now. I'm exiting now to New Africa Road. Let me get see if I can find it right. There we go. This is the New Africa Road in Clarksdale, Mississippi. When I get up here, I will be stopping. There's really not like anything here, but I just want to talk about how and why it has the name New Africa. See you soon. This is New Africa Road today here in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Look at that. They have a Hampton Inn. They have a couple of restaurants, whatever. But I'm here to talk about why it's got its name. And actually, I'm pulling up to a McDonald's just to park and get out and see some things to talk about it. You know, we're gonna talk about how New Africa Road, Clarksdale, Mississippi, got its name. Just come down from Mound Bayou, Mississippi. I'm here home. Took a couple of days vacation, I guess. Yeah, I did. I don't, I guess. And while I was here in Mississippi, I said I wanted to record this. This is New Africa Road, 2025. Well, the word, the street got its name from a rebellion, and I want everybody to know. And there's some we focus on people that didn't fight more than anything. We like to call them weak. We call them everything. And I ain't gonna say I haven't been a part of it. I have. Oh, and by the way, once again, thank y'all for tuning in to BBN Black Business Network. I'm your host, Brother Bakari, a good brother. So, but the street got its name through a rebellion. We had some rebellious, enslaved Africans who did not want to be enslaved anymore. So they fought during slavery and created them a free society. Now you can imagine back in the 1800s, right? That it was just all woods here. Just think about it. The 1800s, it was all woods here. And they were able to create them a free society in this area, out in the woods. You know, you had slave catchers. They come to recapture, I guess, and enslave the people that fought their way to freedom, but they could not So the white people, they defeated them who wanted to recapture them. They defeated the Native Americans who was working with the white people who wanted to defeat them. And I just wanted to come to the road and record while I'm here. I've talked about it before, but I wanted to see the area today. Yeah, of course, it's nothing special, but the history behind this and the history behind that rebellion is one of the rebellions that I have never heard people talk about. So I decided that I'm going to talk about it. And so that's what I decided to do. So once again, this is New Africa Road, Clarksdale, Mississippi, the home of rebellious, free, the home of rebellious enslaved Africans that freed themselves in the midst of slavery and created a free society. Peace and one love. This brother right here, I ain't gonna put you on there if you don't want to be on camera. This brother right here I'm talking to right now say he grew up on New Africa Road, and I was asking him, did he know the history of it? And he said no. And in this town of Clarksdale, it should be told. New Africa got its name by, it was a slave rebellion. We know Nat Turner, we know the Stono Rebellion, right? But since they want to keep Mississippi in such a bad light all the time, they don't want to talk about what happened. It was some enslaved Africans that rebelled and actually freed themselves. Right. They defeated the white slave catchers. They defeated the Native American slave catchers. And they came to this area right now, that's New Africa Road, and built them a free society in the midst of slavery and named it New Africa. So when Clarksdale encompassed New Africa, they just named it New African Road, New Africa Road, without giving the history. Because if we know the history of what our ancestors did back then, do you understand the pride that would instill in us today? If we could do it then, what can we do in 2025? But that's the history. I drove here. I live in Atlanta, but I'm from Mississippi, but from up around Greenville. And I drove here today. I stopped in Mount Bayou, talked their history, and I stopped here. And I drove up here because this is a history that need to be known, need to be talked about. We can talk about rebellions in South Carolina. We can talk about that. And I'm not knocking any of them. I'm not saying we shouldn't. We can talk about all the rebellions, and we can talk about the free societies. So why don't talk about the slave rebellion doing here in Mississippi? New Africa Road. And guess who named it New Africa Road? The people that freed themselves and built it. Slavery was still going on. And they said, no white people, no Native Americans. They came in and tried to catch them, and they kicked everybody's ass. And they named it New Africa. Clarksdale named it New Africa Road, but that was a society just what. If you look at some old Union, once the old Union maps, old Union registers, you will see New Africa on there. And they say during the Civil War, the Union military was told, don't go in the woods in New Africa because you can't defeat them in the woods. So they were told instead, those were some bad brothers and sisters. But I grew up down there, we were some bad brothers. So you were descendants of the bad brothers and sisters. Don't cross that line. That's the same. I'm telling you, that's the history. What's your name, my brother? Leon, nice to meet you on Bakari, man. I grew up way down there, though. I grew up on New Africa and Harry Black. Yeah, always. Yeah, I know exactly. So, because I just came down through Harry Black. So when you my channel, I have a YouTube channel. This is small, but this is what I talk about. Nuh-uh. But my channel is BBN, Black Business Network. BBN, Black Business Network. I'm gonna look it up right now. Okay, and you look it up, put it out, because I'm gonna put this on my channel. But this is what I talk about. I talk about black business, black people coming together, and I like to show the things that we have done, so it can inspire us to do them again. You understand? BBN. Thank you for talking to me. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop recording now and I'll show you. But look, man, thank y'all for tuning in to BBN Black Business Network. Once again, this is y'all brother Bakari. Peace out. Okay, what y'all think about that? Real Clarksdale is they. You know what? In that movie Sinners, I'm gonna say this. They were talking about the blues. That's what Sinners, and they played the blues. And this is something I just learned. You know, if you remember the movie Cadillac Records, right? They said Muddy Waters was from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Muddy Waters was not from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Muddy Waters was from my area. His sister was my godmama, right? But so it's something I just recently learned. When you hear most of the blues artists talking about Clarksdale, they said Clarksdale is where you went to prove yourself. Memphis is where you went to get famous. Chicago is where you went to make money. But they said all the good blues artists back in the day had to go prove themselves in Clarksdale, Mississippi. I just thought that was interesting. So do y'all have anything y'all want to say about what I just presented?
Yeah, they call it a chitlin circuit. But yeah, man. That was a great presentation, man. That was a great presentation, man. I really liked it.
Well, it was a good interview, Buttercup. I wish you had his face. It's funny that the both of y'all probably from the same area. Y'all sound alike. What I like in talking to the Americans, like the people from Mississippi have a distinctive accent, right? Now, I used to think in talking to Anthony that New Orleans people have a particular accent, right? But when I hear Anthony talk, Anthony don't sound like somebody. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, Buona.
Yes,
sir. Hold up, I'm Buona. I just want to say, I want to say one thing. Just do me one favor.
Yes, sir.
Don't say Black American. Say Africans in America.
Okay.
I love that. I love that.
All right. What I recognize with Africans in America is when I listen to Brother Bakari talk, his accent, his Mississippi accent, he still have one. He don't have an Atlanta accent. So I talked to people from Atlanta before, which is very distinct from someone from Mississippi. When I hear Anthony talk, when you usually hear the Cash Money Brothers and shit like that, they don't sound like people from Shreveport, Louisiana. So it's just weird, the accents, the accent, because Anthony have a Shreveport accent, right? And it's very different from someone who probably live in, I guess, where Cash Money them from. It's very different. If you listening, you will be able to tell like the nuances of the American vernacular is so different and distinct. It's just crazy when you listen to it. And I know y'all hear that when you're hearing it from us, because most people who don't know people from the Caribbean, they'll automatically say I'm Jamaican. But because y'all been talking to me so long now, y'all know the difference between a Jamaican accent and someone from the Bahamas. Y'all would know that in talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, that person ain't Jamaican. That person ain't Jamaican. Y'all would know that right away. But it's just funny to hear how Brother Bakari was conversing with his brother from Mississippi, and they sound alike. That's just the first thing I got listening to them. But I'll leave it there, though. Go ahead, whoever want to go.
Go ahead. Hey, Kofi, it's on you. Give me 1 second, though. Hey, Rev, let me know whenever you watch that documentary. Let me know what you think about that documentary and that brother Abdul Rahman Ibrahim. Let me know what you think about that brother, about that documentary. Shoot me a text or something. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, Kofi. What you guys want to say about what I showed? Kofi, you on? Kofi, you on mute if you on mute if you're talking. You on mute. You still on mute. You unmuted and remuted. Okay, now you can speak. Let's see if we can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now you said on Rockman, I said not the boxer on Rockman, that's somebody different, right?
Yeah. This was a guy. I meant to put him on here because I was talking about the African presence in Mississippi. So we're gonna have to do another discussion about Ibrahim Rahman, Abdul Rahman Ibrahim. He was from Mali, and he was enslaved in Natchez, Mississippi. He gained his freedom by tricking them, because they really did have a treaty of peace and friendship with Morocco. So he gained his freedom by telling them he was a Moor. Then when he went up north, he was like, he ain't no more. And he didn't want to go to Morocco. And they had
You can't tell them Moors that, man. They believe that Circle 7 Quran, wearing the fez and all that.
they had a bounty out on that brother, but he made it back to Africa. And his story is interesting because his descendants in the United States and Natchez, Mississippi, some stayed in touch. They stayed in touch for a long time with the family on the continent of Africa, and they used to do family reunions like back and forth.
Yeah,
Bakari.
I'm sorry. It sounds like it was a very, very good show. I'm sorry I came late. There was a passing in my family, so I had like a call that I had to take. But I'm definitely gonna replay this because just chiming in, it seemed like it was a very good presentation, like our brother Anthony said. Go ahead, Buana.
No, I am. What I wanted to ask Brother Bakari is that was there a large concentration of Muslim Africans coming to Mississippi? And if they did they have like do y'all still have like a large black Muslim community in Mississippi?
Well, the Muslim community that I would know, they have the Nation of Islam, but other than the Nation of Islam, for people who want to know, and we say we can build our own community, there's a place in Mississippi that was started by Elijah Muhammad's oldest son, who left the NOI and became Sunni, I think. A Rev say one in Jackson, but I know he created a town, and it's called Medina. Medina, Mississippi is an all-black town. Oh, it's New Medina.
Yeah, I heard of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's an all-black town started by Muslims, and it's been struggling. It's for black people. You don't have to be a Muslim. They will let anyone come. So this is something I've been saying, and this is something that I think we should do. Next time I go home, I'm going to find New Medina, Mississippi. I'm going to go there. But I think we need to come up with some type of organization to donate to the town because they were struggling. At one point, they were struggling. So we need to come up with some type of donations and help them out because they did what a lot of people talk about. They actually did it. They actually went and created a town. They actually did it. So I think we should be supporting them. So the next time, and I'll be back in a couple of months. So the next time I go back, I will be finding New Medina, and I will be going to Webb, Mississippi hopefully I can get an interview with the sister who moved back to Mississippi because where she's from, it was a food desert, and started her own grocery store with her family farm. And so now they use other farmers in the area to feed the area. But yeah, she went back. I think she was in Chicago, and she went back, and now she have and they say the grocery store is doing real well because everything there is fresh. All of the fresh produce, everything is there fresh, straight from the farm. So they say it's doing well. So I plan to find it, or I know where it is. I plan to go there. I had an opportunity next time I go. I plan to go to Medina, and I plan to go to Webb, Mississippi.
Did you get an opportunity to go to Mount Bayou, Mississippi? Because
yes, I have a video of Mount Bayou that I will be putting up tomorrow. I did go to Mount Bayou, Mississippi. I filmed Isaiah T. Montgomery House. I went through and I filmed a lot of stuff. I also filmed the train depot. That was the only all-white spot in Mount Bayou. And the reason the train depot was there is because the white people that could afford to catch the train, they wanted to lay over in Mount Bayou because, according to them, the black people did superior work. So you had people starting their own business, running their own business by cooking food and selling plates to the people coming in on the train. And they're probably shoe shining. They were cleaning the train. They did a lot of things. And the little towns that was close to Mount Bayou was mostly white. So at that point they were, and they said the train shouldn't stop at Mountain Bayou. It was cheating white people out of work, right? So what they did, they cut the train in Mount Bayou. They stopped it from running in Mount Bayou and had it go to some neighboring towns with more white workers. And since the work was no good, their idea still failed. But they did not open the train depot back in Mount Bayou.
Another question I have for you, Brother Bakari. I don't know if the brothers want to go before me, they can. But you said that they have food deserts in Mississippi. How in the world they have food deserts in Mississippi? It looked like the land is. It looked like the land is fertile, like a lot of green. I see a lot of greenery. Why do they have food deserts in Mississippi where it's so much like good soil? I don't understand that. Explain that for me.
I guess I would say the majority of the people that own the land and doing the farming, could freeze the black areas or the black towns out. But that's why she came. That's why the lady from way up Mississippi came back, so she could open a grocery store from her family farm. I forget how big it is, but obviously big if she was able to open a grocery store with it, right? So that's what it is. Because once we had the land. So I'm going to tell you what a lot of people don't know. In the early to mid 60s, right? I want to say it was the early 60s. It was before the voting right and all that. Black people have been asking for their 40 acres and a mule in reparations for a long time, right? So it's starting in Mississippi. They did give black people some land in Mississippi that white people said the soil was not fertile. They couldn't farm. But when they gave it to black people, lo and behold, they realized that this land is fertile. And they ended up, now I say they gave it to them, so then they ended up taking it from them. I forget how, I have to go through the whole story again, but they ended up taking it. But the black farmers, I plan to do a thing on the black farmers, not just in Mississippi, but I would say it did like start in Mississippi, but Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, I plan to do a thing on the black farmers' role during the civil rights, because a lot of people don't know how black farmers, what you mean not to, people don't know how black farmers, when they were talking about don't let black people try to vote, how white people was firing them and they was kicking them out of the houses because they were staying on their land. There's good stories out there where you see where black farmers hired these people, gave them jobs, and let them stay on their property. And you could also see not just that, black farmers start putting their money together, sending certain people from the community to school. Some was going to school to be a doctor. Some would be a lawyer. And what really bothered the people in charge, the Yurugu, was, I think Sinners was a great movie, Revs. I like Sinners. They talked about them Hanks. I say Hanks. They were saying Hank in the movie, but I've heard about Hanks and all of that my whole life. It was some stuff they talked about. I heard about my whole life. But the role of black farmers, when they send kids to college to learn the law. I know all y'all seen that movie Mississippi Burning, right?
Yeah, it had Eddie Winslow from Family Matters in there. I remember that.
Yeah. So you remember, and everybody know this story without the movie, when they killed the two white Jews who went down there on the freedom thing. I just be honest, they did put their life on the line and gave their life, right? And they killed the black guy.
You sound like a tether, Bakari. FBI
That's okay.
did it all.
Yeah, I know. And they killed the black guy, right? The other part of that story that they're never showing in movies. See, they showed them rioting one time and they were burning their stuff. But one thing they never showed in that movie was, if you studied, and I got to go find all my paperwork again. Well, once black people learn the law, and if you come down south, Anthony know, because he's from Louisiana. Rev know, because he's been to Mississippi, right? So you will see church on somebody's personal property, right? They still have church on somebody, like the church my mom and dad went to was basically my backyard. So what they did was they learned the law and they started defending their property. They learned they could defend their property and defend the church. So in that story, Mississippi Burning, the two Jews, I can't remember their name, the two Jews and the black guy that was killed at night was told not to leave the church at night. If you leave the church, we can't protect you. But they will not come here anymore because farmers had started shooting them, trying to come see. They'll never tell that story about the South. Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana was like the first three. And once people learned the law, they started defending themselves.
I have to see that movie again because I saw that movie when I was younger. So now that I'm older, I need to see that movie again.
Yeah, and the Deacons of Defense started right here in Louisiana. You know, we had a chapter down in Bogalusa, Louisiana, and we had a chapter up here in Homer, up here by me. So I mean, and then it spread, to other states too. But yeah, it's like, in the '60s, it wasn't no we shall overcome shit. We was fighting back and kicking ass.
Yeah, and what I was looking for,
salute.
And I wanted my homeboy. He didn't call me back as late because he actually had the proof. He was showing all the paperwork and everything where he got it from. When we talk about Juneteenth, we talk about people going to Galveston, Texas, right? So I'm going to say this, then I'm going to get all the information from him and I'm going to show it. It's called the Tink because it lasted 6 days from the 13th to the 19th. It was not that somebody went to Galveston, Texas and told them they were free on the 19th. Because you must understand, after the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't free everybody, right? It couldn't. Matter of fact, when the Emancipation Proclamation was 1863, people free in 1865. There were some states that they just didn't.
Because there were two most of the Emancipation Proclamation. There was one that freed some, then the second last ones was freed them all.
Well, no, but see, that's the thing. It didn't. It couldn't free people in Louisiana. It didn't free people in Oklahoma. It didn't free people in Texas. It didn't free some people in Mississippi. And that's what he got all the information here. And I've seen it, but I don't have it. And I was calling him for him to send it to me. Let me tell y'all something.
I don't want to derail the conversation, but isn't that because it was the Confederacy didn't recognize the Union as United States? They recognize themselves as their own particular government. That's probably maybe why you're probably saying that it didn't free blacks in the South.
I'm going to tell you what did for him. Those black people that had fought in the Union Army, and y'all can look, they had militiaed up. They went to war against those people to free black folk. Not that I'm telling you. In a lot of southern states, Virginia, Texas, they didn't just go down there and say you were free. Mm-hmm. That's the story they like to tell because they have to be the hero.
Yeah.
They were not the hero into freeing us. We had people fight for the Union Army for freedom. And after that, some of those same people fought. Yes, for real.
Okay. Hey, and COVID, one thing about it is like the psychological part of it. A lot of those slave owners, those white slave owners across the South, what is that? Just the very idea that there was 179,000 niggas with guns scared the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were scared, and that's why they started spreading all that propaganda. These Negroes running around him, marauding, raping white, doing all that stuff. No, like what they say Sherman did in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They was picturing all of these Negroes want to take revenge on them. So you had to factor in that psychological thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
say this. Kobe, let me say this, then I'm gonna let you go. Then Bawana go. And another reason I don't give the Emancipation Proclamation a whole lot of credit, nor the Union Army. Everybody on here heard about the Devil's Punch Bowl. And I'm not saying some of those people didn't go out there and fight for whatever they was fighting for, but we do know Lincoln said if he could bring the Union together and maintain slavery, that's what he would do. Right? We do know that. Abraham Lincoln said that, right? But the Devil's Punch Bowl.
And Bakari, he also said this. He said that the states that decided to stay with the Union they could keep slavery. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Long as they,
you gotta
they
show me
join back
that.
with the Union.
Oh,
Hey,
but check this
long as
out.
they join back with the Union, he said they could keep slavery long as they went back to the Union.
Yep,
Oh, you
go
gotta
back to
show
the
me that.
union and
You
give
gotta
them
show me
some
that.
money. So with the Devil's Punch Bowl, right? Everybody know, oh man, 20,000 black people was in that concentration camp and died of starvation. In the midst of the Civil War, I want people to understand, in the midst of the Civil War, the Union came down there and helped the Confederacy put those black people thought they had help with the Union. The Union soldiers is the ones that basically put them in the concentration camp.
Hey, Bakari, I got to tell you this here, because this is part of what you're saying. I was doing the research, the studying. At the same time, like you said, when the Union troops, after the war was over with, and when they started like the early days of Reconstruction, from around 1866, 1867, guess what? Okay, you know how many black people died? Now you got a whole bunch of black people who were so-called free. They ain't got to work on the plantation no more. They was all over the place, living in camps all in the countryside. 700,000, over 700,000 black people died of starvation and exposure. Not 7,000, 700,000. Like in 1866, in a couple of years, 700,000. So I'm saying it was part what you saw about the Devil's Punch Bowl. That was one of the camps. There were other camps. They were basically concentration camps.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So basically, that's
all
why
over the South, places where they herded up a lot of black people because they didn't know what to do with them.
So basically, that's probably why you had some black people, once they got their so-called quote unquote freedom, if they had a good master, whatever the hell that means, that say, okay, I'll let you work here for room and board. They were more lucky than the ones that would say, okay, you're free, get off the land. And they pretty much, like our brother Anthony said, out there and just die from exposure.
Now, hey, Kobe, okay, the ones who who are, what you were just talking about, the ones who, well, number one, it wasn't no good masters. Okay,
yeah, that's why
number
I say,
two,
quote unquote.
yeah. Hey, number two, those who came back, what they did was they went back to re-enslavement. It was re-enslavement, but it was like, and there's a book about it. They called it Slavery by Another Name. It was the convict. It went from sharecropping to the convict leasing. Okay, the ones who died of starvation exposure, those were the Africans who said, "Man, I want my freedom, and we're gonna go out and try to and get it wherever we can." Unfortunately, they weren't prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of shit happened to them. But they were the ones who wanted to be free. The ones who went back, hey, man, I got a family, I got children, I don't know how we're going to feed them. You know what I'm saying? They basically, what they did was sign their ass back over to slavery.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people.
Okay, look, what we are, okay, Bawana go and Kofi go, then I have one more video I want to show.
Yeah, I want to take it back to Mississippi just a second. So in Brother Bakari video, he shows something called New Africa. So I'm knowing that there was a New Africa Republic in Mississippi by this guy called, I think, Chokwe Lumumba. That was the name of him. And he had a bunch of important people go down there to create this kind of place called like Great New Africa in Mississippi. Okay? He had Queen Mother Moore go down there, Betty Shabazz or whatever. Why is it that the people from Mississippi didn't build on that? That's the first question I have for you, Brother Bakari. The second question is, Anthony mentioned the fact that, Brother Bakari mentioned this idea of Mississippi burning, right? And what happened in Mississippi burning with those guys who got killed. Well, sometimes I watch a lot of mafia stuff. And I learned that there was this mafia guy called Gregory Scarpa, who they was trying to find out who actually killed those three guys. Well, how this Italian guy went down to Mississippi and was able to find out exactly who murdered those three gentlemen when there were so many black men who was in Mississippi who would have probably been able to do the same kind of work. Why is it that an Italian had to come all the way from New York City to go to Mississippi, where
That's a false story.
Let me. Okay, I'm
right,
going to do.
educate me. Educate
Let
me.
me answer your second story. First of all, that Gregory Scarpa story, even the black folks, they'll tell you that's a lie. They say that didn't happen. They say that did not happen. That is just something that's just made up. No Italian mafia gonna come to think about it. One white guy gonna go to Mississippi and scare all of the Klan. And we think black people is just sitting there being afraid.
Brother Bakari is all over the internet. I'm saying that why no?
I know it is. I know it's
bullshit. You know what
I
mean?
know it's all over. I know it's all over the internet. But look up the story. I'm telling you, everybody that's a false story.
Okay, so
Yep, that was straight bullshit.
It's a false. Okay, no problem. So what happened to Chokwe Lumumba and his group, the Republic of New Africa? Why didn't the people in Mississippi build on that idea where you could have like I mean, they had Mount Bayou, but I'm saying why didn't eventually get land and try to actually create the Republic of New Africa in Mississippi? What happened to that idea?
Okay, the Republic of New Africa was the southern states. Jackson, Mississippi was voted the capital of the Republic of New Africa. But what happened, and I'll say this again, some ideas need to be in silence. Because if you say it out loud and they controlling the land, guess who they're not going to sell the land to? I understand being bold. I understand not bowing down, but I also understand some of the stuff they get done, they don't say it out loud because they know there's going to be a lot of pushback. But I'm telling you,
they shot themselves in the foot.
The opportunity is still there. People still call it the Republic of New Africa. I bought my lady a shirt. It says, I am a citizen of the Republic of New Africa. The idea is not gone, but guess what? People is just working in silence now. You got to remember.
Buona had the names wrong.
People believe.
Yeah, Buona had the name wrong.
Who talking about when he said Chokwe Lumumba?
Yeah, Chokwe them didn't start that. That was started by Imari Obadele them. Yeah, Malcolm X's former bodyguard. You know, they the one who started it. You know, they the one who went down to Queen Mother Moore and all of that. It was Imari Obadele them. Where it started, you know, with Robert F. Williams being the first provisional president. But it started with Imari Obadele them. That Chokwe Lumumba them came later.
Yeah, in Lumumba. I didn't know his name. I thought that was that's his son name. Chokwe Anwar Lumumba. I guess he's named after his father then.
Yeah.
Because his son was the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi too. But that's what happened. When we say it out loud, like we get on here and talk and I can say some of the things we need to do, right? I promote black businesses. But there are some things that I'm gonna do, or some things that I'm gonna talk about, ain't gonna make social media. And they're just a fact. That's why I say we have to, if we are truly trying to liberate ourselves, truly trying to make something better for the people here, for our people here, and even like me, I plan to leave, right? I do plan to leave this country. But my people are still gonna be here, right? So we have to be able to work. That's why I say we have to be willing to say, man, we're gonna do a meet and greet and sit down and come up with ideas in person. Everything can't be so loud where they can hear it, because if it is, they can fight it. But if you're moving in silence with certain things, we can use stuff to distract them, right? And they can maybe focus on this. We're saying this, but we're doing something else. Like that lady in Weld, Mississippi, when I was reading her story. She said she just saw a need. She didn't say anything. She saw a need and moved back and used her family farm and opened a grocery store.
Hey, Bakari. Hey, Bakari, another part that Buona forgot that he I don't know if he didn't know about it, was that when they first started down there, remember they had two shootouts. What COINTELPRO had got on the Republic of New Africa's ad on their case. COINTELPRO got on. Now in Detroit, see they had because they had offices in Detroit and down here. In Detroit, they had a shootout where they killed some FBI agents or policemen. You know what I'm saying? And so that put the COINTELPRO even deeper. And when they got back to Mississippi, I mean, you know, everything they did, they was being sabotaged. So we can't leave that part out neither though.
So let me ask y'all a question.
The reason why I asked
question.
Brother Bakari is from Mississippi, so I go into the horse's mouth. If the people saying Gregory Scarpa do all this shit, Brother Bakari, who was from Mississippi, telling me that's bullshit. I gotta go into man who's from Mississippi. You know what I mean? That's why I asked him. You know, he's filling in the gaps that I'm hearing on the internet. So he's filling in the gaps and he telling me that's bullshit. So I gotta go with Brother Bakari say, you know?
Yeah, but see, we all knew that though.
What that do, Bwana, that let you know that allegedly big bad gangster was working with the government.
100% exactly, because he was working with the government.
So let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all remember? I think it was the Vietnam War. Do y'all remember where they did the shooting at Kent State? How have y'all ever heard about that?
Yeah, when soldiers started shooting the children.
So let me tell y'all something, right? They don't even mention Jackson State. So Bwana asking me what happened. So let me show you the type of pressure they was under. Around the same time at Jackson State, they shot 500 rounds in like a minute. They killed like 4 students.
Yes.
Around that same time, Bwana. Now, they say the way it continued after that, they say black people start patrolling the football game with guns outside of the stadium. And they had called it because people would come ride through with the campus, and they was explaining the streets and how it went, and had hit a kid, try to hit a kid and just go fast and go. So when I say move in silence, they never told nobody they was going to start patrolling their neighborhood. So one guy comes speeding in like he was gonna hit, and they called him, and they dealt with him. Now, once they found out that it was there, a lot of that stuff stopped. But they didn't tell nobody that's what they were about to do.
Hey, Bakari, and around the same time that they had the one at Jackson, remember they had 2 of them. They had one at Southern University where they killed the student, and they had the one in Orangeburg, South Carolina, where they called it the Orangeburg Massacre.
And this was not Klan, allegedly. This was the police. Matter of fact, one of the police from Jack, I got his name. Oh my goodness, it's on the tip of my tongue. But one of the police that was at Jackson, they say he was heard telling somebody, you know, yeah, he killed that N-word, shot him in the back a couple times. And ironically, he tried to kill another N-word, but the roles got reversed. And that's how his life ended. I don't think, look, this is the thing. We didn't just lay down nowhere. Like I said, my pops was born in 1920. So I just have to tell this story, right? And talk to, if you know anybody that was born around the 30s or 40s, ask them. First of all, they wouldn't sell black people a lot of guns. And they said the black people that did have guns, they would be lucky to have more than 5 bullets. Because they wouldn't gonna sell you anything so you could fight them back. So when I hear people go in on Martin Luther King, say march nonviolent. At one time he had a militia with him. When he first started, they weren't necessarily with him, but he didn't tell them to leave. They were protecting him. But those people back then, they also knew that if we go with an all out, you might have 100 black people come out with guns, right? But you might not even have 1,000 bullets amongst those 100 black people together.
So, Brother Bakari, so when did that dynamic change where they have guns, but then they have ammunition around like World War I?
No, my pops fought in World War II. He said they didn't even want to give them guns in World War II, because they were afraid of what was going to happen.
Because I know we had a lot of black vets that came back from war. You know, they know how to use a gun, how to use a automatic gun, rifle, and everything. So when
You
did
say
the
didn't know
dynamic
how or
of
did know how? You say didn't know how or did know how?
no, they did know how.
Well, I'm gonna say it
So my
like this.
question is, how did the dynamic change of black people finally able to get more rounds?
With time, I guess.
Okay.
What people don't know is bullets are expensive. So if you if you telling a poor man between there's decide between food or bullets, he gonna buy food. You know what I mean? He can
Yeah.
buy food rather
Yeah.
than buying bullets.
So
But people don't recognize, like how Brother Bakari say, you know, in a crowd full of people, usually they probably have a little bit of ammunition with them because bullets are expensive. You know, Brother Bakari will tell you that.
yes, they
Yeah.
are. So so look, so because we can, so we gonna. That's a topic I've been wanting to talk about anyway. We're not finna do. I'm not gonna do them, but I sent. I don't know if Kofi ever watched the documentary, right? So I'm gonna tell you something, right? There was 2 documentaries I sent to Kofi, and I told Kofi he should watch. So I'm gonna send. Let me find them right now. Kofi probably didn't watch.
You
I'm
sent
just
it
gonna
to
go
my
ahead.
phone or my email.
I'm gonna be honest. I said you probably didn't watch. Now I can't even remember. Uh,
All right.
let me see. I may have sent it to your email because I don't see them now. But there's 2 documentaries on Netflix. I think I may have sent it to your email. I'm checking while we talk because I want to get the name of them. Let me see.
Check.
I'm gonna get them right now. What's your email again, man?
My email?
Yeah, Black Critic. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. I know how to find it. Let me see if I send them to you through email.
When you around what time you sent it to me? Yesterday?
No. Not yesterday. This was a couple of months ago.
I gotta go back.
I don't see. I did. I would have to find. I would have to find them. But anyway, I'm gonna show you something.
Wasn't it like Bushwick? I know you were talking about Bushwick for a minute.
No, but the documentary. One is called. Oh man, they right on the tip of my tongue. A matter of fact, I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna while we on this phone talking. But anyway, I'm gonna record part of it and short. And I'm gonna tell you something, right? When I say move in silence, I'm gonna tell y'all something. These people in 2023, for the lunatic in the office private army that he have now, that's why he let all them people out for that lunatic in office, right? They raised $1.3 billion for the things that they need. 1.3 billion, not million. So that let you know their rich people were spending on it. Their rich people were spending on it, and because that's a lot of money. I'm gonna see if I can find it now.
Oh, Brother Bakar, is it the white zombie apocalypse?
That might have been something that might have been something I called it. But
yeah, I'm not even going into the email. I was looking at the titles.
Yeah. But they're on. Man, I hate when I do this. Let me see.
Come back to it, Bakari. You'll remember. Come back to it. Come back.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean when I say move in silence. And the only reason I know about this because there's a couple of people that left the MAGA movement. And like the guy who did the lunatic in office, did y'all see the guy that did his biography? Did y'all hear what he said?
Yes, I heard.
Isn't that Mike Wolf? It's supposed to be Mike Wolf or somebody else.
I guess that's his name. I can't remember his name, but I can tell you what he said. One thing that stood out to him, that Donald Trump really let him know, this Bwana boy. See, and this is what I was calling him, blagger. And I kept telling folks, this ain't about Republican or Democrat. One thing he said Donald Trump kept letting him know was America will be a better place without black people. It would be a better place without black people. So that one thing he let him know whole while he doing writing, whatever he doing. Say he let him know that America would be a better place.
But brother Bakari, he trying to get rid of us first. He getting rid of us first. He coming for y'all next. Make no mistake. Y'all next. Y'all, no. I personally think that Donald Trump have a final solution for the Africans in America, but he getting rid of us first. You see how he banned them almost the whole of the Caribbean. He banned them most of Africa,
as well as Africa,
from coming. So I mean, like I say, man, he taking us out first. So. But the crazy thing is, brother Bakari, the FBA is telling them, saying, "Bye." They used to in Schindler's List.
No, they're saying they can't be denaturalized. I'll be on the To Be Fair show platform. They saying, "Oh, but they're a bunch of dumb niggas." But they're like, "Oh, I'm an American citizen."
Okay. Let me say this. I don't let y'all slide with that word. I let y'all slide with that word a couple times. Come on, we got to lay off the N word.
All right, I got you. Sorry.
They calling ICE on us, Bakari. When we go to like a African Afrobeat party and shit, they calling ICE. FBI calling ICE on us. So what are we gonna do?
Yo, Bwana, do you really believe that, or you have proof that that's what they're doing? Because they talk a lot of ish online, and I can't blame. I can't blame them for it. But what I have seen in social media is the ICE people are showing up at like at Caribbean events. And showing up at Afrobeats events and shit like that. They've been doing that since the first Trump administration. My friend who's Jamaican, and he was in when Donald Trump was trying to ban like the African countries and all that when he did that the first time. My friend he didn't have his papers straight. He was like, "Yo, I went to my cousin's on spot in the Bronx, and they raided the beef patty shop. They raided the Jamaican restaurant. Restaurant."
Yeah, they getting rid of us first, but and that's okay. The FBI is celebrating, but they're next. Brother Bakari was right. He was I tell Brother Bakari, even though he giving me a beating about it, he's giving me a beating about it every now and again. But they next. They're next. And
the thing they don't understand what denaturalizing citizenship. They saying that the whole thing with Abrego Garcia, what they're doing right now. Like the Republic, even my boss, he's a cool guy, he's a white dude, but even he's like a MAGA nut. They think that it's about, you're protecting quote unquote illegal immigrants. No, it's about due process. It's about habeas corpus. And Donald Trump also said to talk about changing the 14th Amendment, right? So if they change the 14th Amendment, right, and they start messing with birthright citizenship, they're going to get to determine, that's not going to happen. But if they had, everything in their favor and they were able to amend that, they're going to make it in a way where they determine who it could be here legally if they were born here or not. So yes, on Bwana, FBA is happy, but at the same time, they're morons, because if they could do that to us, I'm a citizen. The only difference between me and the FBA is that I can't be president. But my children are just as much as a citizen as any so-called FBA. So if they could take away your citizenship, your nationality, right, they could do it to anybody. And that's what they don't realize.
Yeah, and see the thing is, right, is being prepared. So there are certain things like, I'm being honest. I said I ain't gonna say no more, but I did say I'm gonna say this one more time. And me and I have to take my lady to get hers, and I have to. And peace to you in the chat. But how many people? And I've been asking, and I know people have heard me ask, how many people have a bug out bag? Or do you know what a bug out bag is? And if you don't know what it is, that's okay. And if you don't know what it is, that means you don't have it. And it's okay not to know what it is because we don't know everything. But I can tell you this: it is something you most definitely need. And if you, I've been telling people to prepare. It is something that you need right now. But the sad thing for us, we think it's a joke until it hit us. When Kofi asked you, do you know that for sure? I'm going to tell you what I know for sure about them in calling. This black lady told this Haitian lady at the store that I go to, you don't sound like you from here. Now that Donald Trump is in office, I'm going to see if we can get y'all out of our country.
She said that verbatim, word for word.
Yes. See, man, that's why I don't talk to these people. Like, there's no need. Those people you talking to online and you thinking they're cool, they're okay, you think you can change them. No, bro. I'm telling you, this is why I haven't done anything in so long, man. And I said, this is why I haven't done any live. Because there, for me, I say there's no need. There's really no need for me to do anything. They are who they are.
Brother Ricardo, that he dropped.
I don't get mad at it. I just think Brother Bakari said if we have a bug out by Kofi and Anthony. But you think, Brother Bakari, you don't think a drone could find you in the woods of Mississippi? A drone could find you, bro. Brother Bakari's a bad man. Brother Bakari think he can live in the woods with his woman, bro.
Let's hold it down till he comes back. But yeah, the bug out bag is basically something that you have just in case of emergencies. When shit hits the fan, you got your money, you got your cash, you got your passport, you got your ID, you got your ammo, you got everything you need. You know what I'm saying, to survive you for a little while. In case you got to grab and go. So that's pretty much what a bug out bag is.
And it needs to be packed. You need to have 3 to 5 days, and you need to have it. You need to have that packed with you now. You need to have a rendezvous point if you got kids old enough that's gonna be driving and out. I'm telling you. And you need to be prepared for whatever. And I keep telling everybody, look, man, at least get you some mace, some bear spray. At least get you some mace or some bear spray. This is what we're going through now, what we're seeing. This is serious. Have any of y'all ever seen a movie, the movie called Civil War?
Not yet, man.
Yes, I
saw
that. I sure did see that. Absolutely.
You need to watch it. I'm telling you, you need to watch it.
Yes.
We don't need to try to ignore it. Because we can ignore it all we want. It's still going to be here. And when it hits you, and when it comes for you, and you're not prepared because you've ignored it, see those guys that call themselves FBA and ADOS, man, I don't worry about that. I really, truly don't. I don't concern. Because I'm going to tell you something. They're not with you. They are not with you. And I'm not sitting here saying, ooh, every African we meet is just such a good friend. That's not what I'm saying. Because I have problems. I've met Africans that I have problems with. Jamaicans. Yes, Rev. It sure is another discussion that needs to be held, Rev. And once again, y'all check out that brother King Fuse Lit House. I'm telling you.
He should come up.
I'm telling you, he has excellent. Yeah, he do great content. But
no one ever said, so before this, like I said before this whole FBA bullshit came about, everybody, all black people look at each other as, it's not new when we say not all skin folk is kinfolk. It's about the mentality of the person. I could go to a place, grocery store, on the job, and I don't know if me and you have the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? I got to probe your mind to see what type of person you are so I can know what I can say and what I can't say. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we got to do it. So doesn't matter if you're a Black American from the Caribbean or whatever. There's coons in every Black society, no matter where you go. But FBA has this thing. Oh, since we FBA and we're Black American, we're the biggest victims in the world, but we're also the most and the best and the most powerful Black people in the world. I don't know how those two things could exist in the same space. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much being around like-minded people, being honest with the situation that we're all in, knowing that we're all in the same situation. And the FBA that claim to know white supremacy so well, white people look at us as all the same. That's not how Black people look at all white people all the same. Now you still white. I don't care if you're Hungarian or Swedish, you white. they look at us the same way. So all this division and all this other stuff, it's purposeful.
Yes. Hey, look, one of the documentaries is called God and Country.
You can do that now.
God and Country. I tell you, I'm gonna find them for you. And you sit there and you hear these people just talking about, because like a couple of people claim they left, what they say, they left MAGA, right? So it was a couple of people that left that was telling secrets. I'm telling you. Look, man, when
So
the
you're
one,
gonna find it for me, Brother Macari, or I'm gonna look for it? 'Cause I'm about to look for it.
it's on Amazon, God and Country.
All right, got you.
What's her name? The old lady, old Congress lady, and it's time for her to sit down. Maxine Ward. When she sat there and tell you it's an open secret in politics now that these people are planning and preparing for civil war, we can ignore it all we want. Now we need to ignore it's a civil war, somebody coming at you. But we need to be nonviolent. But when you
I'm saying that shit doesn't work no more.
But then when you hear people saying that, right? When you hear these politicians, when you got politicians telling you this, then you have politicians telling you they know that Donald Trump has his own private military. We need to be, and I'm just saying, you can't wait. Oh Lord, they getting us now. Oh Lord Jesus, they getting us now. And I'm just saying, I just put it in the link rail. And what I'm saying is, and what I'm saying, I'm telling us, we have to, and I know I keep saying it, man, if we ain't willing to start doing meet and greets and meet up and communicate that way, there are certain things that, like I said, there's certain things I ain't talking about on here.
Yeah,
and
don't do it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm saying it has nothing to do with fear. It just has something to do. Everybody don't need to know everything.
Understood.
No, but watch this. But Juana, let me ask you a question, and I know you know. Regardless of how you, whatever, who was the first people you heard come after Grandmaster Jay in NFC?
You know who it is. You know what I mean?
NFAC.
You know who it is. You know who it is, Brother Bakari. You know who it is. We living in strange times right now. The brother talk about Donald Trump having a private army. He have the Proud Boys. He have all them criminals from January 6th. And he have the military, the friggin' army. You got a paramilitary group and you have a military group. My thing is, Brother Bakari, you are talking about civil war. I'm asking you. You've been in the military before. What does that look like in the United States, brother? What does that look like?
What would that look like in the United States right now?
Yes, sir.
Right now, I think it would be a lot of them starting to fight each other, like they are starting to do politically. If you listen to them, they are really starting to go at each other, right? Verbally, anyway. Elon Musk took the dude Stephen Miller white. So Bannon told Trump to deport Elon Musk right now.
I remember that.
So what's gonna happen? But the
But
end goal,
why is that happening? You know why? Because with the whole tariff thing and the big so-called big beautiful bill is fucking people's money up. So now it has more to do with just political loyalty. You're fucking with my money now. That's why Elon Musk is saying like, hey, this big beautiful bill. He said the bill can't be big and beautiful at the same time. You know, and that's why there's a lot of pushback. That's why Steve Bannon is saying like, no, this is not how you need to do that. Like they want to keep white supremacy intact, but not to the point that's going to fuck up their money. So
yeah,
now, and you got people like I'll land with this. Then you got people like Marjorie Taylor Greene that believes everything that Trump does, but you know what I'm saying when the chickens start to roost, then they start like whoa. That's why I'm glad this is happening. That's why I'm glad that they have in their way. They got control of everything. They can't blame Democrats.
yeah. Hey, Rev, you got something? Assalamu alaikum, my brother. You got something you want to say? You came up here. What's up? This my Rev. This the one. King Few Lit House is his channel. What's going on, Rev?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace to the brothers on the panel, man. What's going on, brothers?
What's up? What's up? Peace.
Salam alaikum, brethren. Yes.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Just this life in marvelous times, man. I can't stop smiling, man. They cooked, man. They cooked, man. When I say the Western white male is on the beach laid up, he's finished. He's finished. It's just closing in on him on all angles. You know what I'm saying? The proud boys or the proud girls, they not ready for no real combat, man. They're not ready for no combat, man. When we're looking at the situation with Israel and Iran, two areas, well, not Iran so much, but the Middle East, I know a lot about. I used to live there. I was over there in the middle of war, and I'm just seeing that response versus the response 20 years ago, and it's just, they're not built for this. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Not to take too long, brother Bakari. So I apologize if I'm a little bit long winded. But when you look at this situation, brother, America is a melting pot, and that's gonna be the undoing of it because the ingredients that they have in the pot, they don't mix anymore. No matter how much COINTELPRO and now IntelPro they're doing right now, there's so much division on the home front that it almost handcuffs them abroad. And the weaker they look abroad, look at what's going on with brother Ibrahim Faso. Look at what's going on in other countries in Africa. Look what's going on with China and other Asian nations. They smell blood in the water. You know what I'm saying? The thing with ICE only secures America's fall at home. Because the moment of real conflict, because there's rumors that Donald Trump is going to order a strike this weekend. If that happens and we get into a conflict abroad, this isn't 9/11. This isn't 2001, where you have patriotism and everybody's backing George Bush and every lie he spews. Now it's a situation where here, there's so much division amongst Americans, man, brother, that they can't sustain a long-term war. So I say all of that to say where a lot of I call them agents, the FBA, I call them FBI. You know what I'm saying? I call them agents where they're doing all this now and tell pro stuff because they're getting checks and they're working on behalf of the masters. But what they don't understand and what our people have to understand, this is the most opportunistic moment for liberation in the history of our people from Africa here. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity. Now, I'm not saying we should be involved on one side or another. You know what I'm saying? I see wisdom in sitting, but I do think Brother Bakari is absolutely right when he says we should strategically start to mobilize. And it's so much intelligence in these smartphones. I don't know how secret you can keep it, Brother Bakari, but I will say we do need to start mobilizing so that when the conflict ends, just like other group of peoples, when wars ended, we can maximize the spoils of war. If you know what I'm saying. We need to be opportunistic. We need to have a plan put together. And if this thing goes the way that some prognosticators are saying, where this is the fall of the West, we're not gonna sit up here and be the booty of war. We're not going to sit up here and be the spoils of war. We have to start mobilizing, getting ourselves in a position where we can finally step into the position of power that we were born into and that we earned through our ancestors. So that's all I wanted to say, brother. Y'all brothers up there cooking. I ain't got much to add, man. Y'all. Hey. This. I needed this Friday night, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Before you go, Imam, let me ask you, brother, because I don't know who to trust right now. If I was in America, right,
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm seeing my brothers, my African American brothers, telling me, "Go home, you tether, you whatever," and I'm saying to myself, "Well, I might as well click up with the Hispanic people because they, they don't want to get deported like I don't want to get deported." So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
who do you trust? My own brothers who look like me telling me, "Go home, you black tether to your coconut island." Yeah, it's like, what do you
It's
do in this
shameful.
You
scenario?
make it
You know what
sound
I
like a
mean?
Coconut Island sounds bad. Coconut Island
It,
sounds
No,
awesome.
it's shameful.
to me it ain't bad. But I'm just saying, my own brother's telling me that you need to go fix your shit. So it's like Kofi been here since he was a young man. How
Right.
you could tell him to go home and he been here since he was a young man. He
He
raised his
he is at
family here.
home.
I've
It's
been here
shame.
since I've been here since I was 4.
Hey, let me say
It's
something right quick before you
well.
go.
Go ahead, brother McCarty. Go ahead.
Peace, Cool, Bitter Medicine Podcast. Y'all check him out, man. How your pops doing, my man? That's all I wanted to say, man. I'm glad you tuned in. How your pops doing? Go ahead. Go ahead, Rip. I just wanted to ask him about his pop.
Well, the thing about it, man. Uh, if you study the history of America, brother, America loves a winner and it loves an underdog. And our people here in this country, we suffer from herd mentality just like every other group. Edward Benet, propaganda and things of that nature. They just going with the wave, brother. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that serious. When the bullets start to fly, metaphorically, because I don't want to get the brother live taken down, but when the bullets started to fly and them bombs started to drop, like I said, I've been in those situations where it's bunker bombs and everybody's a tough guy until them bombs start falling. As long as you black and you next to us, they not gonna be saying, "Oh, brother, you are this, you are that." They gonna be, huddling together and trying to survive. That's just a lot of talk, and a lot of that is based off of the reason why the FBA is so successful. And I say this all the time, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone's faith. When I was a younger man, I was very insensitive to that, but I try not to do that anymore. Is the ideology of Christendom. White Jesus has done more damage to my people in America than crack cocaine. So what they feel like through FBA is a way to be accepted in whiteness because that's the image that they have been given. But that's what I'm saying. These conflicts that are happening in the world are opportunities for our people globally because for the first time, they're seeing vulnerability. African Americans from Alabama, African Americans from Mississippi, African Americans that are saying some of this stuff. The reason why they said that is because a lot of them looked at Trump as boss. They looked at him as the big bad, white man that they grew up with that was going to restore order. And now they see him, I'm going to be real with you, getting punked out by the whole world. He tried a trade tariff with China, been a disaster. He talked all this big stuff about Iran, night one of the conflict. And Iran is just out here doing whatever they want to do to Israel right now. You know what I'm
Forgot
saying?
about Pakistan and India too.
Yeah, Pakistan and India. So that we're seeing this, and subconsciously it's starting to settle in. Let me tell you a quick story, brother, and this is why you should never feel bad about the now and tell pro you seeing, because all that is agents. The masses is the herd, and once the tide shifts and the trend shifts, they'll come back to the census. This is a story I want to tell you real quick. I was working on a train 3 years ago. I told Brother Bakari this before. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying my time. I'm making pretty good money. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to stay low. You know what I mean? And my area was Tennessee and South Carolina. So one night I get stationed in this place called Toccoa to ride a train from Toccoa to South Carolina. And I'm with this ex-police chief, uh, adamant racist. white boy white man in his 60s. He's a retired police chief. And he's complaining to me the entire time. I'm just trying to set the setting of what's really going on here in America. He's complaining to me the entire time about, the wars and all this stuff and how, white men don't stand up for their community anymore and their sons and daughters are all about the pride flag and the white woman wants to be with black men and all of this and da 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 da. And he's just saying all of this stuff to me, right? And I'm just listening. And he's talking about how, he's talking about how also in northern Georgia, a lot of people don't know this. There's still white business owners, but the cartel owns most of the businesses. Like they're funding the businesses. And they're so indoctrinated in the police department that he used to work at, they can't get him out. Because to get them out, they would have to fire the workers. You can't fire the workers because then your land isn't profitable or your business isn't profitable. So he was talking about how the cartel, through, I don't want to call out the group of people, but the cartel through this group of people is taking over the businesses in North Georgia, man. Where just 150 years ago, we know what the state was for our people. So we keep riding along, riding along. I ain't giving him no information. He gets to talking about the war in Iraq. I don't tell him who I am or where I've been and what I dealt with. And we get over to Anderson, South Carolina. And he's like, you're going to see a lot of things when we get off the train here that I was telling you about my people and how bad of a condition we're in. If you ever go to Anderson, South Carolina, downtown around 12 o'clock on Friday night, you'll see the state of white America. When I got off that train, it was about 30 to 40 white folks walking around downtown looking like zombies. Addicted to meth, addicted to fentanyl, shot out. And he looked at me when we were walking because one of them ran up on him. It was a white lady and it was a white male. And they were begging him for money, begging him for money, begging him for money. They started pulling on his leg, pulling on him, trying to get him to give him money. And he ran over there to me. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't approaching me because I don't know why, but they weren't approaching me. But when they finally started walking away, he looked at me and he said, "What has happened to my people? What has happened to my people?" And I guess he was used to the forgiving African American from the church. I'm not that. I looked him in his eye and I said, "It's the wrath of God. And y'all gonna keep getting it. And you're gonna keep getting it. And you're gonna keep getting it because this is what you put against yourself. This is what you sowed against yourself." If y'all could have saw the look in this man's eyes, it wasn't about what I said. Some of it was that, but some of it is he already knew that in his soul. So when you see those people in Anderson, South Carolina, they used to be an affluent white area where they used to kick the brothers and sisters on the outskirts of Anderson, South Carolina to Spartansburg and all these little towns and have us in these shacks and these huts. The reason why they're on that is because they know their time is coming. It's a self-destructive principle that they've laid before them. I guarantee you, my brother that asked me that question, when our people see what's going on in the world and they see that that person isn't the person that they grew up worshiping, you ain't gonna have to worry about that. Now, there's gonna be a lot of us that choose to go with the system because, like I said, America loves a winner. But stick with us, man. The majority of us do not feel that way. And really, like Brother Bakari said, don't even waste your time arguing with those that are speaking like that, because really, a lot of them are just listening to agents that are being recycled through the CIA and COINTELPRO.
I mean, wow, thanks for that story, man. Thank for that. Thank you very much for that story, Rev. Um, yeah, like a lot of, I have a relative that live in a dominant white area, and through that relatives, I know a lot of other methed out white people, and yeah, fentanyl, meth, even crack up to this day, it's still a problem in white neighborhoods. They like to talk about Chicago. They like to talk about New York. They like to talk about places where it's mostly have a lot of black people. Like white people are just, say on cloud nine, just having a good time, and just look at the Negroes. but they are having a hell of a time. I could get, if I can, I could get me some white people saying, I grew up with meth heads all my life. My mother was this and my father was that, and yeah, they do it all the time. Sniff coke, do all that other stuff. So when Brother Bakari, I mean, to more what you were saying, yeah, FBA, it's a fad, and what I would do to comfort your mind if you do come to the States, just think of the Malcolm X speech about on field Negroes and house Negroes. You just gotta find the field Negroes. That's it. You know what I'm saying? There's always has and always will be, as long as white supremacy is around, you're gonna have house Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, when I go into any space and there's a lot of black people, it could be a train, it could be a bus. I say if shit goes down, I gotta let me for one of them field Negroes.
No, I know,
Hey, Kofi, let me say something right quick.
Let me finish this, brother. Give me a second. No, I know there are many African Americans who are good people. The Imam talk about Anderson, South Carolina. My brother's in Anderson, South Carolina. You know, I know Anderson. My brother married a woman from Anderson, South Carolina. So I mean, I know Anderson, South Carolina very well. So, but the fact that they have a meth problem. You remember the crack epidemic that was in America, and they pinned it on the black folks? Well, now it's their time. You know. But I appreciate. I talk to brothers like Brother Bakari. I talk to brothers like Anthony McFall. I know there are Black American, there are African Americans who don't think like FBA. They my brothers. They my soul brothers. We disagree. We fight all the time. But you know, they my brothers. They my real brothers. You know. But no, you will never have to worry about me thinking it's just all these African Americans who think like that, bro. Because Brother Bakari is just as much as my brother as Anthony McFall is, and these are grassroots men. These are grassroots men. So I would never pin all African Americans in the same category. Never, ever.
Yeah, FBA is a derogatory.
Kofi, let me say this to you, Kofi. You said the field Negro and the house Negro. Yeah. You're right. You want to meet the field Negro, but be careful. You don't want to meet the field Negro that want to be the house Negro, though. Hey, look, man.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get off here. Everybody get a closing statement and tell where they can be found.
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, I'm gonna replay this on tonight, definitely tomorrow, because it sounded like it was a good show in the beginning. Sorry I missed it. I had a little bit of fan business to take care of, but Brother Bakari, I please encourage you to do more of these. Right, you are literally touching grass on this. You did actual field work, and that is what is needed. Talk as well as the walk. You did a lot of field work, and that is to be applauded. To my brother Rev, glad I met you. I'm just about to subscribe to your channel. You sound like a man of wisdom and powerful, man. And I really would like. I thank Brother Bakari, and I thank you for coming on here. And of course, last but not least, my brother Buana. You know what I'm saying? Just thank you for joining this live too. Long time no here. Hopefully you'll be on there tomorrow at the Bitter Medicine podcast at 8:00. And yeah, and shout out to the chat.
Well, you can go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is, you all know what it is. For me personally, I appreciated the conversation. Brother Bakari is leaving historical evidence of Mississippi, because this was the initial discussion, and I appreciate the fact that he is setting a lot of groundwork for the history of Black Mississippi and the things that happened historically within Mississippi. That needs to happen, because for me personally, he is filling a lot of holes that I didn't recognize before. I hope that Anthony McFall does the same thing with Louisiana, because these two places are big historical places in terms of the African story within America. Mississippi, South Carolina, and Louisiana. So if these brothers are documentarians for for 2025. I applaud it. For the Imam who came up, he seems to be very wise. The only thing I would do is to invite him to the Bitter Medicine podcast tomorrow night if he doesn't have anything to do to add to a lot to add to the knowledge base because he seems to be extremely wise, and I think you have a lot of young people on that show who actually listens, and he could be extremely influential with the information and knowledge that he knows. So if he's not doing anything tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, just tune into the Bitter Medicine podcast and just join in with the conversation if he wishes. So I'll just leave it there.
I appreciate both of you brothers for the kind words. I'm not gonna sit here like I know everything because I don't. Of course, I will come on and listen and work in whatever way to build with the brothers, man. I'm gonna get the information from Brother Bakari. I'm about to text him as soon as I get off. Brother Bakari, you ain't getting off that easy, brother. You know what I'm saying? Me and you got some work to do, brother. So I got a show that either you could do or I can do because I really want to discuss our position in these world conflicts because what I've noticed is they always try to marginalize us to children at the kiddies table. And we have to start preaching the doctrine of our time is now. There is no more waiting. There is no more sitting back. So I'm inviting you, Brother Bakari, to come up. I'm trying to do like 5 shows tomorrow on the channel. I got a lot of stuff lined up, but I'm making time for that. If you have any time tomorrow, and I'll make sure I'll schedule it well before the other podcast that the 2 brothers was just telling me about. I would love for y'all to come up and let's build together and discuss this. And as far as, if they hear it or they don't hear it, like I said, I understand what Brother Bakari is saying because strategy is needed. But we're at a point where the youth is so dead to strength and the message that we got to leak this stuff. They got to hear this kind of fearlessness from black men. You know what I'm saying? From African men. So, Brother Bakari, if you got time tomorrow, we can chop it up or we could do something. And as always, brother, I appreciate you for allowing me on your platform. And Brother Kofi, I appreciate you and the other brother that just left as well. If I could get that link from you, Brother Bakari, so I can pull up to that podcast tomorrow, I'll be grateful.
Yeah, Rev, you do the same. Put your channel in the link too, so I can subscribe to your channel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, because Bitter Medicine just put his in there. So I thank everybody for coming up, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know the conversation went a little bit away from what it started off, but that's how we do. We ended up covering multiple topics. Rev, I'm glad you came up. It was good to hear from you, my man. And you do your live. For me, it's gonna have to probably. Ooh, wait, what time out day tomorrow? My kids and my woman, they taking me somewhere tomorrow about 1 o'clock. So after that, I'll be more than happy to show up to your panel. Of course, I would be more than happy. Hey man, tell your brother Malik. I said, what's up, man? But I hope y'all enjoyed this. Watch the replay, share it. Yeah, that's the name of it. Oh, you're not a moderator? Let me see if I can make you a moderator right quick, Real. Then you can share your it ain't even showing me how to do a moderator no more. I clicked on it. Okay, wait a minute. That's moderator. Okay. Hey, you're a moderator now, Rev. Now you can put your link. You're supposed to be able to put your link in the thing. It's under the Bitter Medicine. It's under the Bitter Medicine podcast. Now you can put your link in now, Rev. You're supposed to be a moderator now. I just made you a moderator.
Yeah, I put the link in the private chat and the public chat.
Yeah,
for Bitter Medicine. Yeah.
All right. So if you go to your channel, Rev, and you put your link, but I'm telling you, man, y'all check the brother out, man.
All right, brothers. Peace.
Yeah, man. Peace. I thank everybody for coming up here. I'm finna put his let me see if I can put it in his Oh, there you go. You put it in. So yeah, there you go. Once you become a moderator. Hey, Rev, man, I'm gonna holler at you, man. Hit me up, bro. Peace out. Peace to the chat. Peace and one love.